So, is it a prequel? Well, from a report from Daniel Richtman, Marvel did a casting call for teachers in college, and in the Cosmic Circus, Alex Perez then chimed in, saying that the movie will be a prequel to Avengers Doomsday. Now, it being a prequel wouldn't be too far-fetched, since considering that Spider-Man No Way Home ended in the fall of 2024, and timeline-wise, Avengers Doomsday would take place in around about 2028. So the amount of time between the two movies means there's a massive gap in Parker's life that we haven't seen yet on screen. And I'd still like to see an episode of fallout of what happened in No Way Home, how he reacted to being separated from his loved ones like Ned, MJ, and even Happy, and how he adapts to that and how he interacts with the potential new characters that he'll meet, like maybe Harry Osborn or Gwen Stacy or even Black Cat. I think it'd be a wasted opportunity to skip all of that, go straight into where Peter is at the present moment in the MCU timeline, just so they can get him into Avengers Doomsday. So I think the idea of Brand New Day being a prequel is a good idea, but still this could possibly change because we've heard several other rumours about the movie. In terms of what the plot will be, such as it being about Venom and Null, leading on from what happened in Venom and the Last Dance, or it was meant to be set between the two Avengers movies on Battleworld, and maybe even be a multiverse movie with the two Spider-Men returning as well. For me personally, I'd much prefer the movie to be more street level and self-contained, because the first two villains of the trilogy, Vulture and Mysterio, were heavily influenced by Iron Man, and the third movie, Doctor Strange, went more mystical with the multiverse, and it was nice to see the return of Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, but I think a more self-contained story focused solely on Tom Holland's Peter Parker is what's needed after all these cataclysmic events that Peter's been through, so we can focus more on the actual character and what he's going through with the fallout of those movies. Because similar to the actual comic of Spider-Man Brand New Day, you've got a complete clean slate now with Spider-Man. And if they wanted to cross over characters from the MCU, then they can do that with people like Daredevil or Kingpin, especially with the ending of Born Again, where Kingpin has declared martial law and is the mayor of New York City now. You could maybe do a movie set on the events of that. And then still, I'd like a movie where the villain has a more personal connection with Spider-Man, because I feel like Kingpin, that whole storyline should be more focused on Daredevil. Spider-Man should be more like a cameo in that story, I'd say. I know Kingpin and Spider-Man in the books normally have more personal interactions, we'll say, but in the MCU of what's established right now, I'd say keep that storyline between Matthew Murdock and Wilson Fisk. So I'd say bringing in a new Spider-Man villain, like one that's not been done before, like maybe Mr. Negative. There's even been castings for Prisoners, so maybe they could bring back Scorpion from the Homecoming post-credit scene, which they've not done anything with yet. Or even with Peter being in this more dark phase of his life right now, they could bring in someone like Black Cat, like I mentioned earlier. So how Peter's not getting the proper balance right now between his Peter Parker side and his Spider-Man side of life. Hell, you've even got that little piece of symbiote that was left over in the end credit scene of No Way Home, so maybe that'll play a factor into it. I don't think they'd make Venom a main villain in Spider-Man 4. I think it'd be too much for one movie, and the fact we don't know what's going on with Tom Hardy's Venom at the minute. I know he did die, but I'm guessing he's gonna come back somehow. Maybe it'll be in Secret Wars we see him return. I think it'd be cool to have over a period of films, including the Avengers movies as well, showing how that black suit slowly changes Peter, makes him more dark and more brutal when he's fighting, and changing his personality, making him more aggressive to other people around him, and then slowly building that up where you can do that in the second movie of the new Spider-Man trilogy. Maybe then have Venom be a major role, then in the third movie have Carnage come into it. But even then, saying all that, they've already done all that in the Venom movie, so I don't know if they'd be willing to do that when it's been done pretty recently. But I'm sure we'll soon find out more, as the movie is going to start shooting in August of this year and then have a release date on the 31st of July in 2026. So hopefully as time goes on, we'll get more news about the film, maybe some set photos, and then eventually, I'd say possibly later this year, towards the end, maybe early next year, we'll get our first trailer for the film and we'll get an idea of what the film will be about. But we'll eventually find out soon.